Okay, we're asked to solve a system of inequalities here. It means instead of just having two linear equations and seeing where they touch, we're now going to be graphing one linear inequality and shading, and then graphing another linear inequality and shading, and seeing where that overlapped shaded region is. Here we go. For the first one right here, I need two important pieces of information in order to graph it. I notice that the slope is 2, and the y-intercept begins at -8. So I'm going to go over here on my x and y axis, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marker, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marker. Always start by labeling and scaling that graph to give yourself some reference points. So here I go. Down 8, 1, 2, 3 after the -5. This is where I begin at -8, and then I'm counting a slope of 2 from there. It's going to move up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, as far as you can go. Now, before I connect this line, I also want to make sure to go back and double check my inequality. Here I've got a less than or equal to. When it's less than or equal to, when it has the solid line, it is a solid line. If it had no bar, we would be making a dashed line, which we're going to see here. Actually, I don't want that color. Hang on. Let's go make it blue. Okay, so we now need to shade everywhere that is less than that line. So here's my first inequality. Let's go look at the second one. Second one has a slope of -1/3. That's going to be going down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3, and it's got a beginning y-intercept of +4. So we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, and then go down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3, down 1, right 3, or up 1, back 3. Notice it should be a negative sloping, and it is. So now I'm going to go make a dashed line. If it had the bar under here, it would be a solid line, but it does not, so it's dashed. It's just a boundary line telling us to shade everything greater than that line. There's my dashed line. And now I'm going to go shade everything greater. Now, what's the solution to my inequality? It's the double shaded region. Anywhere that there is yellow and purple shading is my solution. So if I were asked a question like, is the point 0, 0 a solution to this inequality? We would say no, it's not in the double shaded region. But if I was asked, for example, if 8, 3 was a solution right there kind of in the middle of that shaded region, we would say yes, 8, 3 is a solution to this linear system of inequalities. Okay, so that's it. We're looking for the double shaded region, and you got it. All right, let's go do the second one. And at this point, I do say try pausing the video and trying the second one on your own if you haven't already. But you are going to notice that this one's given to us in a different format, and so sometimes there's a couple different ways to do this. All right, look at this first equation and see how it's not in y equals format. It's not in the y isolated format. So we could do a couple steps to get it into that format. First, let's minus the 2 x's in order to put them over on this side. And then let's divide by -3. Now, I hope that something is dinging in your head right now, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. When I divide by a negative for an inequality, something happens. Yes, we switch the inequality. The less than or equal turns into a greater than or equal. Do you remember that? That's like the golden rule of inequalities. So here, after all this work, what I'm actually going to be graphing is 2/3 x minus 4. Positive 2/3 x minus 4. And notice that the less than or equal flipped into a greater than or equal. So now I go get my m and my b. My slope's going to be 2/3. My y-intercept is going to be a -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marker. And let's go graph this. So begins at -4 and then goes up 2 over 3, up 2 over 3, and down 2 back 3. Looking back up at this inequality, or back down at it right here, I have the solid line, so this is going to be a solid line. So connect this with a nice solid line. And then let's go shade it greater than. Remember, it switched. It's now greater than. So shading greater than the purple line is going to be all of this. So satisfying. Use highlighters if you want of 2 different colors on your paper. Okay, I'm going to go over and graph the other one now. Uh-oh, there's no number here. Remember, there's an invisible 1 for the slope when there's no number there, and my b is also 1. So begin at +1 right here, and go count a slope of up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, and down 1, back 1. All right, this one, it has no equal to bar, so we are going to make it a dashed line. Dashed. And then we want to shade greater than. So where the purple and blue touch is my solution. Any point in that solution is a solution to our system of inequalities. How'd you do? Do you remember how to do these? I hope so.